The project section of GroupThinq is where you set up the individual projects or proposals. So we're going to set up a new project. It consists of a project name, of course some data for that project, as well as some financial data and some project data. I'm going to do videos on these individual sections, but it's important to note that in the admin section where you've set the permissions, who has access to each of these two categories, you can control that in under Admin Approvals tab. So let's set up a new project. We'll show you how this works. So we've got a blank new project. We can set up the name, University Landscape Plan, and we can select a project manager, and of course the project managers are set up under the admin section staff. You can assign who is a project manager or not. So we'll set up Jake. Same with the supervisor. We'll set up Bill as the supervisor for the project. So the project manager can be anybody in the firm really, and once you've identified them as project manager, if you have the settings for approvals set correctly, they'll be able to control the project financials section, which you don't see. None of these two sections will get created until we create the project. So we can create a client for this, or we can set up a new client. So if I go in here under new client, I can set up a new company. It's important to set up a contact name and a contact email. So I won't bother doing that here, but you're able to do that right under this section, or you can select an existing one if you want. So we'll set up that. The project status is automatically set to active once you create the project, and then you can set the fee type. So the fixed fee means that you're working at a fixed fee, say $10,000, and whether you spend 10,000 hours or 10 hours on the job, the fee is still fixed. For an hourly fee, whatever you bill, if you work 13 hours on the project, you're going to bill 13 hours of time. And an upset limit is kind of an intermediate between the two. You set an upset fee of, say, $10,000, and it really doesn't matter how many hours you work. That's the total amount that you're able to bill. You can set up a division for it. Again, you've already set your divisions under the admin section up here. We'll go to under the company. These are where you set up your divisions for the company. And so we'll just select a division. And if you want to add a project team to this project, you can just start to type a name in here and add them to your project team. Once we save that project, it will automatically assign a project number to it. You can override that project number here. If I go in under unlock and I want to name it, say your accounting software identifies this as a different project number, 999. That way when you search, it will show up under either one of these things. So if I put in 26-01, that will show up there. Similarly with this one, we're able to search under either of those names. So now that the project's been created, we've got project financials and we've got project data. So the project financials section, we'll have a separate video for that, but it's got tabs where you set the fees, your scope changes, any sub-consultants on the job. You set your rates. This is where you do your invoicing. So in another video, we'll look over all of this section. And as well, the project data is the phases for the project, and I'll do a separate video on this one. This is essentially where you set up each phase of the project, and that way in your timesheets you're able to select the phase. So the other section that we can do here is set up a new proposal, and new proposals are tracked differently from new projects. So if I set up a new proposal, we'll call this Dartmouth University proposal. It assigns an automatic project number again. You can set your proposal lead, again, your supervisor for that project. All the same things that are in the project header, you set up in the proposal header. There's a slight difference here, though. Under the project status, you've got whether it's an open proposal or closed. So I'm going to save this proposal. You can say when it's issued and when it's due. Once you set your due date, that will, over in the Springboard calendar, you'll see the due date for that proposal. So once I save that, now we've got this thing set up. And if I were to go in here and say that we won the proposal, that would convert this proposal into a job, and it would assign it a new project number. So again, if you set your loss or whether it's canceled or unsubmitted, you can control and track how your proposals are doing. And there's an entire section over in the Springboard here. If we go down to our proposals section, we'll be able to track the wins and losses of the different proposals. So it's slightly different than a project. You'll notice under the, if I search here under the project and go to that project, it's got a different color than the new proposals. That way you'll know that they're slightly different.